So now I would like to talk about the lyrics of the album, because nowadays the world is getting mad because of COVID and so many things, and people are just, other nations are not together anymore, but everyone believes in different things and people are angry with each other and stuff like that. So when I saw the video of As the World Burns, it kind of reminds me of this nowadays situation. So what's the point of the whole lyrics, or is there any concept, or what would you like to mention about this new album?
Okay. Well, As the World Burns, the lyric video has got nothing to do with the song.
Okay. I heard you say that somewhere.
That lyric video is what the directors, that's their view of what the lyrics mean. Actually, the video is good. I mean, it's a good video. Nothing wrong with the video, and they did a good job of that. But actually, the song was about, if you can imagine, there's a lot of old school stuff on this album, but if you can imagine the devil, he's bored. And he's going, I told you, I said I was here, I don't need any more souls, I've got enough whores, and I don't need it. Yeah, come on. And there's so many souls falling from earth that it looks like the world is on fire, it looks like the world is burning. So it's just about the devil being bored and fed up. I told you this would happen, that kind of thing. That's what the lyrics were about. Mm-hmm. But they put this lyric video together, they took it literally, which is very often what people do. And so now they've made it about like the chaos in the world with atomic bombs and stuff like that. Okay, I'm not angry about that. It's just another version of it, but that's not what the lyrics were about. So, people take their own twist on different means. Did you want me to mention any of the other songs?
Yes, if you would like to, just tell me if there is any connection between the songs in case of lyrics, for example. Is there any legacy of this album, which you would like to mention?
Right. Well, the only link really is that it's me and my crazy head writing, because with me I have to have a story. It has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. The words have to be good words. They have to make sense and work together. I say very often that I'm lucky in that English is a good language to work with, because we have words. One word could mean two or three different things, and you can twist the meaning even by using the same word. So I like playing with words in that way. But also it does have to have a story, and so even though some of it is about God and the devil, there are stories around that. So if we take Nowhere to Fly, for example, that's actually a love story. But if you can imagine, the guy has actually died and he's found himself in hell, and he thought he had wings, so he flew into this place, but he said his wings have been taken away, so now he can't go anywhere. And he said, no, I you don't understand, I've got to get back my lady, my girl. And the devil is saying, your girl isn't there anymore, you've been dead 1,000 years. He said, no, it's not possible, I can't be dead, I only saw her yesterday. No, she's gone, she went off with another guy, and that's what happens when you die. No, it can't be possible. So it's this twisted, heavy love story, but it still involves the devil. Then you've got Book of Shadows, which is one of the unplugged tracks. Okay, now this one, do you know that saying when people say when you die your life goes before your eyes?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
You have that same saying, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so imagine if you didn't have to wait and that if you suddenly found a book and your life is in this book, right? The good stuff, the bad shit, right? Mm-hmm. Everything is in there. Would you want anybody to see it? Maybe not. Okay, so you try to tear out the pages of the bad stuff, but then the pages just reappear with the bad stuff still on it, so you can't get rid of it. Okay, so this book is the story of your life that you have been given, and you are faced with everything that ever happened to you, everybody you knew, everything you did, everything is all in this book. So the Book of Shadows, you can't get rid of it. It's there, and this is what you would see if, when you died, that would go before your eyes. This is all the same sort of stuff. So it needed that choir, it needed that, like...
The choir is amazing. The choirs are amazing there. I love the song. I have goosebumps when I hear it. It's amazing.
My voice is in there. My daughter's voice is in there. It's just like a build of all kinds of, voices and things. So that was like that one. What else have we got up there? No Shame at All, actually, is just a kind of rock and roll song about a woman who is always out partying and leaves her husband at home with the kids and takes all his money. What else have we got up there? Oh dear, name your song. What would you like to know about?
Like Crying Wolf, for example. I love this one as well. And you said it's the old one from the original, like, writing sessions or stuff.
Yeah, Crying Wolf, basically, you may have that saying as well. When somebody's crying wolf, they can only lie so many times before you find out, oh, right, okay, they're crying wolf. So it's about how you can lose your friends and the people around you if you just keep bullshitting people, That one's quite a simple story, actually. But there's lots of stuff on there. Damnation, the one with the spoken words.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's weird. I think they're going to need a video to see how that really comes back, because it's a guy thinking, really. So the spoken words are in somebody's head. It's just like somebody's talking to themselves. And the idea is that God and the devil want you to be on their side. Okay, so it starts with God, and a Bible appears in front of this guy, and he goes, yeah, I've read that, and throws it away. Another Bible appears. Look, I've read that, throws that away. Another bigger one appears, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger. Look, I've read all this. And then God appears and says, you, this is your damnation. You. Then the devil comes. Now it's his turn. And he tries to get the guy to go on his way. So you need a video to make that appear, but
you should make a movie about this, It's
I know.
Kind of story for the movie, right?
I know, but you see what I mean about it. When I write, it has to have a story. It has to have, a beginning, a middle, and an end, and that's Tonym Martinem rock. That's what's in my head. It's crazy and it's mad.
That's a great statement. This is Tonym Martinem rock, and I would agree with it. It's amazing.
People ask me what kind of music it is. I don't know. It's Tonym Martinem music. That's all I know. It's it's just crazy.
And it's very strong. I also read some interview with Scott, and he said that when he offered you some riff which sounded like Iomish style a little bit, you wouldn't use that song. So was there any plan or any like expectations how the album should sound, and then you just try to find the right songs for that?
No, not really. I mean, I took whatever Scott. In fact, he sent me another 39 tracks. Oh my God. I just take whatever he sends me, and then I make it into a Tonym Martinem song. Literally, it's just guitar work when I get it, and then I cut it up and move it around and add stuff and change stuff, put lyrics and melodies and stuff on it. So it's built for me. Mm-hmm. Some of the Tony Iommi sounding stuff, and honestly, it was one or two, really, not many that he's done, which you can't use. But if it's too close to something that's been done before, it's only going to cause you problems. If somebody said that's my riff or that's my sort of song, So
yeah, sure.
I'm lucky with Scott that he can make so many riffs that it really doesn't matter if I cut one of the riffs out and throw it away. There's going to be something else that I can use. So
he's got 30 different riffs anyway.
Yeah,
that's cool.
He's just plugged his brain into a Marshall amp and just it comes out of his head like that. I don't know. Amazing.
Okay, can you tell me something more about the other band members, or the players who played on the album? Because I know you've got Magnus Rosen there, for example, which is an interesting name.
Yeah.
And how was the cooperation? Everything was from the distance, right?
Yes. Apart from Danny, Danny Needham, he's the main drummer on this whole album. I mean, I play some drums on the album as well, and some bass and violin, electric violin and stuff. But the main drummer was Danny. Mm-hmm. He came to Birmingham and recorded in Rich Bitch Studios here in Birmingham and did all the drums. In fact, he did the whole thing twice. Love Danny. Danny's been with me for many, many years. Bass, well, I play some bass, but then we have Magnus Rosen. Magnus did that crazy bass thing on Black Widow Angel.
I thought that, yeah. It's just, pure craziness.
It is craziness. And you know what? We had the song, but there was a space where it needed something. And I called Magnus and I said, Magnus, can you play a bass solo? And he went, yeah, I can do this. So, like, he played this thing and sent it back to me, and it was, what's that? That's amazing. So we had to keep it. It was just, like, fabulous. Really, really good. Love Magnus. He's really cool. We have also a bass player, Greg Smith, who played with all sorts of bands like Rainbow and Alice Cooper and many, many bands. He's just a good friend, and we work together on sort of rock theatre shows and stuff like that. Love Greg. He did No Shame at All. Fantastic. I love. He's so solid, and he really, really appreciates what he's doing. He's like into it all the time. Anyway, so then we have like Dario Mollo puts a solo on one of the tracks. It's lovely to have Dario on there. He saved the day on that one. Pamela Moore.
I was about to talk about her because of Torrents, the track,
Yeah.
Awesome cooperation. So I heard that you also met just on Facebook, right?
Yeah, that was another one. I mean, we've known each other for some years on Facebook, but she's got exactly the same birthday as me. So we have this like thing on Facebook, like, happy birthday, yeah, happy birthday. You're my brother from another mother. You're my sister from another mister. And it's like all this stuff we have backwards and forwards with each other. And it's always been, great. It's just fun stuff. But Thorns turned out to be more than it started. The song started off really being the story of a girl or a woman who had been in domestic abuse and in horrible, bad ways, and she'd run away, and so now she was on the street and she's self-harmed. So when the people cut themselves and that sort of stuff, and she doesn't want to speak to anybody. So she's hiding, and each time somebody tries to be kind or says something good to her, she doesn't want to hear it. She's just, because the words feel like thorns sticking in her skin. It's horrible. Don't talk to me. I don't want to hear this kindness, this words. Go away. Leave me alone. Okay, that's how the song started. But then COVID came along, and I guess you guys hear the same as us. I don't know, but we're told that now COVID made it worse, because now the people who are being abused can't escape. So the abusers have them trapped now, and they can't get out. Okay, so now it's taken on like something serious, and I wasn't sure. I thought, maybe I shouldn't be singing about this. I didn't know if it was too much to have a rock song about this subject, but I actually had a counsellor contact me, and she said, I've been an abuse victim counsellor for years, and said, this song is so cool. Said it brings this subject to people's memories. Well, I didn't intend that to happen. So, it's gained an important, serious thing about it, but it's still a rock song, So Thorns was weird. Anyway, I couldn't sing the girl part. So soon Pamela Moore's name came up, and I asked her if she would sing, and she would, yes, I'll do it. So she did it, and did a really good job, I think, of putting the passion into that song that needed to be put for the girl part without making it sound silly or because it had become a serious subject, not intentionally, but it had gained this thing. So Thorns turned out to be the title track and the most important track for me in a lot of ways, really. Yeah, heavy stuff. That's depressed us all.
Well, yeah, but I just had to Google her a bit to find out that this is the Pamela Moore from Queensryche albums, you know, Operation My Crime and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a good connection also in this case. But yeah, I see the story is really tough.
Yeah, she's got a lot to give, you know, Pamela. She's got a great voice, and when it fires up, she make it fly. So, you know, I'm really pleased that we got her on board, and she loves the song. I mean, she said it relates to her in some ways in her past. I don't know what that is, but, you know, yeah, it was all good. All very, very good.
And so now, what are your plans now with the album? Would you like to play live, some festivals, some live shows, if it's possible because of COVID, of course, because nobody knows now. But what would you like to do with the album now, or in the next couple of years?
Well, I'd like to tour. The problem that I have is that I don't have a band. If I go out on the road, I have to hire the musicians, if they're available. And then you have to rehearse it. Like I said, you know, sometimes when we do these appearances, we get one rehearsal and it doesn't really work. You know, it's hard to get the feeling and the togetherness in just such a short time. So I would need to hire the band. I would need to rehearse it a lot. Then you'd have to build the stage show and stuff from the bottom up. You have to organize it. And then you've got to plan the tour, which has got to be at least 6 months in advance. And at the moment, we can't really. I mean, my country might say, "Yeah, you can go," and then your country might say, "No, you can't come here." So
that's crazy.
You can't plan anything. So you know what I said to the labels was, "Look, if I take this on the road, it's got to be done correctly. We need to rehearse this really well and get everybody in on it, and you know all the thing. But it's not going to be this year." I don't see it being this year at all. Maybe next year, but we're already writing the next album. So, hey, you know, I can imagine that we could have 2 albums done, and then like next year or something, try touring something with 2 albums. I don't know, but it is one of my regrets, and I wish I had kept a band, but. This is where my life went, into the studio, and my career took me in as a singer-songwriter and recording in the studio. So I can't complain about that, but it is sad that I wasn't able to keep a band, you know, together just to go out and do shows and stuff. But that's not where my life went. So yes, that's the short answer, by the way. That's yes, but you'll have to wait.
Yeah, but maybe now when the things are moving much faster than before, in case of your solo material, so maybe now it's going to make more sense also for the rest of the musicians to keep, you know, their eyes on this project and just to make it happen, because that would be great for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I do have different players on there. We have 3 bass players, so you can't have 3 bass players on stage. You'd have to decide who was going to be like in the band and who was going to play what. I don't know is the answer, really, but I would like to.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully this thing will happen, you know, in the short future. And now I think the last question, because we, you know, discussed almost everything about the album, I would say, the lyrics, the production, the guitar player, all the musicians, all the songs and stuff like that. So what is your inspiration now? What kind of music do you listen right now? Or what was your inspiration when you started singing and stuff like that? So what kind of bands are you listening to?
God, I started playing guitar when I was 7, and I'm a child of the 60s and 70s. So, you know, I mean, I started really listening to the Beatles, Rolling Stones, and people like that. And then 1971 happened. Everything changed for me in 1971. There was so much music coming out of England from, you know, Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath. So many bands, just every week there was a new band, you know, kind of Status Quo, and God, just kept coming. So we kept listening and listening to all of this different stuff. Then reggae, UB40, and all of that stuff just kept coming, and that didn't stop. It went through the 80s, the 90s. I really enjoy listening to bands like Green Day. Foo Fighters, fantastic. Dave Grohl's a fucking monster. Great, really, really cool. All those bands, Rush. But you see, when I was young, I was into the technical rock bands like Yes and King Crimson and Jethro Tull and eventually Rush, Dream Theater, all that kind of stuff. And so you can see the variation in my head. It's just so wide. I love everything. I love the new bands. I love the kids. I think they do a great job. There's just so many of them, And sometimes you walk down the street and see them playing, and you just think, why have you not got a record deal? You should have a record deal. But there's so many great players and things. So I do enjoy it. I love the music. I think music is our light, especially in the COVID days when we can't get out anywhere. Music has a big part to play, I think. And this album, Thorns, came at the right time, really. It's the first really heavy rock album of the year to sort of come out. And so it's been good, the right album at the right time with the right people, I think. So I'm hoping to continue that. My inspiration is just to keep going. A lot of people have woken up now to the Tonym Martinem thing, even though I'm 65 years old. But I hope to keep going and just keep writing and do my thing, really.
That's cool. And because so many people, like active musicians from the 80s or maybe early 90s, they are just thinking that nowadays the rock scene or the music scene in general are just gone because of downloading, because of this kind of stuff. And people are not interested in rock anymore, or as much as they were before. But then the new generations of bands are happy for this, social media kind of stuff and possibilities of connecting people worldwide. So where are you in this kind of ways of thinking?
The business has definitely changed. I mean, it's a different business to when I first started, and so we've had to learn. We're all still learning. The business is changing a lot, and you do have to try and keep up with the changes. Otherwise, you kind of get left behind. But I have a simple theory, for me anyway, that my fans, on my Facebook pages, there's only about 30,000 fans or something connected to my page. It's not millions, but it's up there. But they're all pretty dedicated to like the Tonym Martinem thing. So if I tell them, then they tell everybody, so it kind of gets spread around via word of mouth, and it's getting into all the papers and things. So I'm happy with my little world of social media. I don't do all of the WhatsApp and the rest of it. It's just too many things for me to be involved in. So I concentrate on like one area. It is different. You're right. The business. I don't know how we make money at it these days. I mean, But then, in the olden days when I first started signing contracts, we had idiots in the business in those days. Who would you've heard of bands who say, "Oh, the manager ran off with all the money." Things like that, where they've been tricked out of contracts and like stuff. So it's not entirely a new phenomena. It's just that now you don't know who they are. The faces are anonymous because they're on the internet, and you can't really do much about it. So I think what you have to do really is appeal to the fans, keep them close to your heart, and if you keep doing good stuff and you treat them well, I've always got time to talk to my fans, and there's just so many of them. It's not always possible to talk because there's just hundreds of people coming at the same time. So
yeah, but I know because I was one of them at the beginning, like in 2012, 13 or stuff like that, when we started communicating. So. Right. Yeah, I know, and I think you're doing an amazing job in case of this connection with the fans.
Thank you. I do try. It's not always possible, but I do try.
Okay, so because we are filming this for Backstage TV and TV Rebel from the Czech Republic, these two platforms are gonna, play this. So, what would you say to your Czech fans? Because now your new album is out. I saw already that you can buy it on some Czech platforms already, or pre-order it or stuff like that. So, what would you say to your Czech fans?
Well, the same that I say to everybody. You know, I am really pleased that you like what I do, and thank you for your support. It does mean a lot to us. And to you as well. I mean, we need guys like you to tell everybody what we're doing, to report what we're doing. Hopefully people like it, but just to say thank you, keep rocking. It's a pleasure to be amongst you, and I'm glad that you've got me in your home or your car or your headphones. It's a pleasure to be there, and we're very grateful, you know, so keep rocking, and you know, hopefully we'll meet somewhere down the line. You never know.